Hey everyone, Blockchain Bernie here, broadcasting live from fabulous Las Vegas. This is my latest episode, and I am so excited that things are moving forward. And we are launching an incentivized Devnet. Can you believe that? I'm so happy things are moving fast right now again with Xandeum, right? That's the rebranded Bitoku chain. It's called Xandeum now, Xandeum, Xandeum.com website, link in the description. We're building the L1 with a blockchain-based storage layer. That enables Web3 apps, real Web3 apps. And finally, we're working on this. I'm super excited to be, working with this stuff. I wouldn't do anything else and wouldn't want to do anything else. And someone's got to do it. And, we are launching our DevNet on August 15th. So there will be the big Xandeum launch July 30th. So if you haven't heard of that, go to Xandeum.com, link in the description. And the incentivized DevNet means you can boost your rewards for running a validator, a node, by 50x, up to 50x, if you run a DevNet validator. So there is a link, a blog post on the Xandeum website. So the link to that blog post for the incentivized DevNet is also in the description. And we are giving you up to 50x, and you have to get your node. Or, if you already have a node, that's fine. You can run a DevNet validator, and you will still get your rewards, and they will even get doubled for the duration of that DevNet, incentivized DevNet period for 6 months. But if you buy a node or an additional node after the Xandeum launch, so the big Xandeum launch is July 30th. July 30th is the big day, 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Saving Time. At that point in time, we are officially live with Xandeum, with the rebranded chain, with the brand new node store and everything. If you get a node, or if you already have one, if you get an additional node after the launch, and I should say by the launch, if you're the lucky one who is the first and who clicks just in that moment, 11 a.m. PDT on July 30th, then you will be getting 50x the rewards. So let me do the math. Right now, each node produces like 50 Xan tokens per day, right? They were called Oku tokens in the past. After the launch, they will be called Xan tokens, Xand. These Xan tokens, we aim to list them as a token launch in November this year. It's also super excited about that, right? So we're working with our lawyers and all of them to get these things done. It'll be super exciting. So if you're the first one after 11 a.m. to get your node or additional node, that first lucky guy or gal gets 50x the reward. So it will be not just 50 Xand a day, it will be 2,500 Xand every day. I mean, that is crazy, right? And now you say, okay, only one can be the first. Of course, but if you come out second, right? If you're not super fast, but already fast, and you're the second one to get that node, then you still get 49x the rewards, right? And the third one gets 48x. So you get the idea. It just means, if you're number 10, you still get 41x, and if you're number 50, you still get 2x or 1x the rewards in extra rewards, which means basically 2x for 6 months. So if you like stuff like this, please hit the like button for this little video. I feel it's a great piece of news, and I will keep you updated about anything on the Xandeum chain. And I also have interesting content each and every week about general blockchain stuff, what's going on in the world, blockchain news and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. So there are all the details in that blog post. So everything will be laid out there. We have the hardware requirements there. You can most likely run that node from home with kind of consumer grade hardware. All you need is 16 gigs of RAM, a 4-core Intel or AMD CPU, at least 2 gigahertz. So that shouldn't be a big hurdle. Anyone might probably have one of these computers lying around, maybe an old laptop. It just needs to be something that runs 24/7. And which, with old laptops, it shouldn't be a problem. If, you need like those little home servers or so, one of the things we can recommend is my other company, Ansel. It's ANTSLE.com, and you can get servers there that are completely fanless and no noise and stuff like that. And you can run that from home, but you need at least 10 megabits per second in each direction. So most people have more than 10 these days, at least if you have broadband, it's more than 10 megabits a second download. But you also need 10 megabits per second upload, right? Because the blockchain goes both directions. So if you have these at least 10 megabits, we might even come down with these requirements. So we're currently running our own little a Devnet at Bitoku Labs with just a few nodes and see how it's going, right? Maybe for Devnet, we can go down with these requirements, but hey, 10 megabits a second is probably what we're going to need, right? I'll let you know, stay updated. Please, again, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If we can get these requirements down, I'll let you know. But for now, we should think it should be like 10 megabits per second. So if you cannot do that at home, I mean, you could probably upgrade your plan depending on where you live to get that going. But if you can't or don't want to do it at home, there are cloud providers that offer dedicated servers with which you can do that, right? But what you need is a dedicated server. It won't run easily on a VPS, right? So you need a dedicated server, which means they have a real physical server for you in that data center, and you kind of rent that whole server and have no noisy neighbors on that same hardware and stuff like that, right? So and there are providers like, for example, Namecheap, and things start at like $60 a month or something like that. There's other providers like Vultr, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, and all these different providers that offer dedicated servers. Check the link in the description about a blog post about the Xandeum Incentivized Devnet. And there will be up to 50 nodes that get the big boost, right? If you buy one of these nodes or an additional node after the launch, the first 50 get the big boost, but then after that we're taking on 10 more, right? So we are going to have a maximum of 60 physical nodes on the Devnet. And, we are collecting valuable information for that. And you will learn valuable stuff by running this node. You will be prepared for the later testnet and then for the later mainnet. Just keep in mind that most likely the hardware requirements for testnet and for even mainnet will grow a little bit, right? But with Bitoku and Xandeum, you have the opportunity not only to run a validator, which is a high-performance type of thing because we're building a high-performance blockchain, but you also have the opportunity later on to run a storage provider, right? And that really runs on cheap consumer-grade hardware. We're even aiming for Raspberry Pis with some external SSDs connected to provide the storage. And we want to have millions of those all over the world, which means it has to run on cheap consumer-grade hardware, right? So, yeah, man, that's I would have never thought we're launching our own DevNet with our own L1 blockchain with that blockchain-based storage layer. And it's so super exciting. And, as I've mentioned so many times, we are solving an important problem with that, right? Because Web3 is important. Humanity wants to make that experiment. Can we build all these apps that we have on Web 2 today, right? The Amazons, the Airbnbs, the eBays of this world, the Facebooks and the Twitters, right? They all have centralized control, right? They make the rules alone, and they can censor you, and they can do, anything they want. And we as mankind, we want to find out, can we do that in a decentralized fashion with decentralized control, with, and every validator, every DAO member, every user have their say there. And of course, that does not mean it has to be anarchy, right? There are rules, but those rules are being enforced by the community and not by one person or one organization. And we want to make that experiment. It is super important for humanity. It is important for society, and it's a very, very important project. And it just has to be done, and someone has to push that forward. And believe it or not, people are talking about Web3, but the technology is not there. When Web3 needs a blockchain-based storage layer. Because otherwise, if we don't store the data on the blockchain, it wouldn't be worth to rewrite the Web 2 app as a Web 3 app, right? Then we still have centralized control, at least for the data. So yeah, we need that stuff, and we're building that. Thanks so much for listening. Please consider buying that node at the launch, July 30th, 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Boost your rewards up to 50x. I mean, wow, yeah, 50x. And by the way, all the extra rewards will be paid by Bitoku Labs. Bitoku Labs is the organization that develops the Xandeum blockchain. And Labs has a treasury, and we have these Zan tokens in our treasury, and we will pay it right out of our treasury. So we are not, as many other projects, right, just minting new tokens that cost us nothing, and then boom, give it to you as extra rewards. That would dilute you more than without that, right? We have that light paper with all the tokenomics in there. We have a hard limit. There will never be more than 4.015 billion Zan tokens. And we are enforcing that, right? And we would never just mint new Zan tokens just to give you extra rewards and then have our max supply broken, right? We keep that promise of that max supply, and we will be paying these extra rewards out of the Bitoku Labs treasury. I'm so excited to meet you all on Devnet, running one of these physical nodes and getting the Xandeum blockchain started. It is really super exciting. And thanks so much for watching, guys, and catch you later. Bye.